Hello Ratbags, it's Jade and welcome to Everything That's Wrong with Rust. Before it's even appeared on a console, what the hell is this video, Jade? We're all hyped, we're all excited, we've got the release dates for Rust, we know exactly how much we're going to pay, we know exactly the pre-order situation. Well, you might have guessed that pre-order situation is kind of what's pissed me off today. So I'm going to go through everything that's wrong with what Double 11 are doing with Rust on console. And before anyone else gets salty, you can go ahead and like something and also be critical of it, as long as you're constructive. So I've got loads of suggestions on how I think they can turn things around. I am super excited about Rust. I was the first person to break the bloody game coming. I told you guys about it in 2018, how Double 11 had picked up the rights to publish the game or make it. So I've been there, I'll hype it up, I've been talking to the developers, I've been giving them feedback about certain things. I want to build good relationships with them. But man, I just can't do that when I see so many stupid things happening. And I've got to let you guys know so you can make an informed decision. But in a nutshell, they are doing pay to win early access. They are only giving betas out to the most expensive versions of the game. They are charging you to test future updates for the game. They're making the game more expensive than PC, but it's not going to even have most of the content that PC has. Rust is seemingly more like an early access game on console rather than a fully fleshed product. There's potential for them to actually charge for updates as DLC instead of free like the base game on PC, and they may be even making servers to rent your own servers more expensive than third-party sites. So, fanboys, go ahead and dislike right now, because anything I say after this, it's not going to get any better. So on Friday they announced that Rust would be coming on May the 21st. It's great news, I can't wait to dive into it. Xbox, PlayStation, you'll be able to play it on both, and you'll be able to play backwards compatible on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. We've also got news about how to host a server, what the differences are between other games like Ark and Conan and DayZ, and why that could also potentially be another way that players are kind of getting ripped off. So off the bat, Rust is different pricing for the Xbox and the PlayStation versions, which we're going to cover. The PlayStation version lists it at $44.99, whereas the Xbox version lists it as $41. Now this might be some discrepancy with the UK, this has happened before with certain games like DayZ was a similar price. It's a weird $41.74, but let's call it $44.99. So I'm not that upset that the game is more or less $10 more expensive than PC. Most games that arrive on a console platform from PC ports are normally a little bit more expensive. Every game under the sun, like a AAA game that you go and buy on PC, is usually $10 cheaper. There are some exceptions like PUBG that had their price the same across the board, but it's pretty rare and most games do this. Xbox and PlayStation take a 30% cut off every sale, so increasing a game price by 5% or 10% sometimes. What the difference boils down to is how much of that product is the same. Is the PC version going to be the same as console? If the console is lagging behind, doesn't have the same features, does it warrant being more expensive? And so what do you get when you buy the actual Rust console edition game? Future tools and weapon skin pack. Pretty much free skins, and these are, I would say, roughly worth $1 to $2 if you was buying the same sort of thing on PC. It's pretty standard for all games to offer some sort of pre-order bonus. You'll notice there is no beta access if you buy the base version of the game. Now this is problem number one. Call of Duty from Activision, one of the worst, scummy, crappy money grabbing companies out there that routinely just puts out the same shit every year, increases the price of its games all the time, makes you pay for upgrades from next gen to the current gen or the current gen to the next gen. They don't even do the shit that Double 11 are doing with the Rust pre-order bonus. Effectively, you buy Call of Duty, whatever one it is, you'll always get access to the beta that runs. Rust, on the other hand, have decided they don't need to do that. You're only going to get access to the beta, which could be lasting up to 2 or 3 weeks, if you sign up for the more expensive versions of Rust. This is complete bullshit. It's pretty standard practice nowadays to have your beta as charged. Although we've seen with Outriders recently, having an open beta is great, it definitely revived a lot of interest in that game and people were super excited about buying it and picking it up. This is a poor business decision and it's purely done out of greed just to wreak out some more money. There's no way that Activision don't even do this shit, but Rust can go ahead and do it. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, the deluxe and the ultimate editions of the game. Another AAA greed monetized bullshit thing. Now, when you pony up $60 and $80 respectively, you will get access to the beta. You will get a bunch of other skins too. Now the deluxe edition is exactly the same price as it is for the PlayStation on Xbox, but for some weird reason the Ultimate Edition is £5 more expensive on the Xbox version as it is on the PlayStation version. You can see the Ultimate Edition $64.99 compared to the Xbox Edition where it is literally $69.99. But it's really weird that the base version of Rust is cheaper on Xbox, the middle version of Rust is the same across both boards, and then the most expensive version of Rust is now found on the Xbox. What I've got issues with is the pre-order shit that comes with it. Hopefully I've conveyed to you now that it's wrong, that the beta is locked behind the more expensive editions. Betas are there to test the game, they're made to make sure there's no last minute problems. You should want as many players as you possibly can get into the beta so that on launch day you don't have a shit show with servers not working, too many players flooding. That's what the beta is meant to do, catch them last tiny little minute problems. If you're only opening up the beta to people that have spent the most money on your game, there's definitely something wrong with your thinking. I'm not even mad about some of the skins. You could sit here all day and we could argue and counter argue that the skins are worth it. They've had skins for years and creators actually get a chance to make these skins and make some money from it. In fact, creators who make skins on PC made over $5 million in the last 4-5 years. Facepunch have given 25% off of every skin sold to the person that designed that skin. So that means Facepunch have made $15 million over the last 4 or 5 years through skins alone. That's an incredible amount of money. So when I look at stuff like this where you get a suit, a door, furnace, boxes and stuff, fine. If you want to argue, yeah, that's definitely worth $10, $15, that's up to you. This kind of stuff I don't necessarily think is ideal. I'd rather have choice, and having a choice of skins that I can choose to spend money on rather than be given some welcome pack as a boost or buff. You've then got the Elite Combat Pack. Again, I'm not really down for the skin system here. I don't really like it. I think it's bang average. There's plenty of other skins I've seen on PC Rust that I would rather spend money on. I'll bet some skins can be more expensive, by the way. There are skins that have gone for like $10. And on the market, the third party site where you can actually buy these skins, you'll find lots cheaper than what they're listed on the Facepunch and Steam websites. And sometimes you find them stupidly expensive, like $800, $900. Sometimes some skins have gone for thousands. Why? Because some of these skins have only been ever put up for the 1 week only, or they might not have ever been put back up on sale, and so they've kind of been around for years and they've gained kind of like cult status. It's a bit of a shitty practice all in all with the skin situation, like CSGO, the stuff that used to be able to do with gambling and keys to get skins. Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but Rust players love it. We're not going to have that situation with Xbox and PlayStation. You're not going to be able to resell your skins. It would be the first time any game has ever been able to do that, so I just can't see Xbox or Microsoft or PlayStation offering that chance. We also don't know if they're going to get creators of skins involved, whether or not this is all going to be done in-house. If it's done all in-house, it means even more profit for Double 11, not having to pay any designers other than the ones that obviously work for them. It's all about choice. Whether or not you think that's a good deal, that's up to you. Does it contribute to the price being nearly double what the game is on PC? Does it realistically mean this game is worth $25 more just simply because it's got some new skins and beta access? I'm not too sure. Now the third thing wrong before I fucking vent a spleen, 3-day early access to Rust. I don't know if anyone's told Double 11 that Rust is a PvP game. It's a base building, base destroying PvP game. If you give players early access to servers, that means they can build up, they can get the best resources, they can get the best weapons, blueprints, and pretty much establish themselves before everyone else joins. Why the fuck are you doing 3-day early access on a base building PvP game? This shit does exist on games like Call of Duty and EA Sports titles. At most, it means that some players are going to have maybe a couple more attachments on a gun they really like. They'll unlock some new skins, or they've managed to get themselves up to prestige level, whatever the fuck. Majority of that time, you play with them maybe once or twice and that's it. You're not seriously affected by someone having a couple days early access on a Call of Duty game. 3-day early access on a game like ARG or Conan or Rust, that gives a huge advantage to everyone that's playing. It is paid to win. Now it's the same for the Deluxe and the Ultimate Edition, you're going to get that 3-day early access. So if you really want to get ahead of everyone else, buy the most expensive version and get yourself 3-day early access so you can be on half empty servers, gathering loot, getting all the best stuff, and pretty much dominating that server for a good while. What fucking idiot at Double 11 thought that would be okay? But the worst, I would say this is definitely the worst, is the public test branch access stuff. Rust for years has used test branches to test their updates before they come out. Rust gets updated on a monthly basis on PC and has been doing that for the last 18 months to 2 years. Before then they used to update every week, but there was just not a lot of press attention being given to the stuff they were adding, and so they made it a big monthly update to try and generate more interest and give players something to look forward to and hype over. Just like every survival game under the sun, nearly every one of these games has these types of test servers on PC. We've even got them on console. You've got Sea of Thieves that has test servers. You've got PUBG that has test servers. Space Engineers, a survival game, had test servers running when it launched on Xbox. Even DayZ has had test servers running. These are all free. These are all ways for players to test the final things in a live environment. Give a little bit of feedback about balance, and that's generally what it's there for. It's not really to test lots of things to see if it's broken, it's more about the balance of the game to make sure it feels good to the players, although there is an element of catching them last minute little problems that might not have been caught. Devs should be rewarding players for taking part in these test servers. In fact, developers have a hard time getting players involved sometimes. Conan Exiles in the past was practically begging people to come and try out their test servers because not enough people were giving feedback on it. So why the fuck are Double 11 charging people to have access to it? It doesn't say anything about only for the beta. It says public test branch access. Does that mean just for the beta period? Does it mean always? If it means always, that is a stupid decision. That means that only people that have spent more money are going to get to try and check out the new stuff, but also giving that feedback to make sure it's okay. What if people start leaving the game? What if they don't really want to play Rust anymore? That pool of people that have access to the staging branch is going to get smaller and smaller. So maybe this is a typo, maybe this is just something they've not clarified. I did reach out to the community manager at Double 11, but they didn't get back to me after saying they would try and find out some answers. I'm not doing a rant just for the fun of it. I've delayed this rant about 2 days now, hoping to get some more answers, but since no one got back to me, then I'm just going to go with what's available. This reads like you're only going to get access if you bought this version, or once it launches they'll have an upgrade path where you can choose to spend $5 or $10 and get access to the rest of it. It's so weird, I've got to assume it's a mistake. I've got to assume that they're only using this as a little enticement, but if they're doing that, it kind of is a bit of a lie. It does also mean that if they do open this up to everyone once the game is live, and everyone gets a chance to check out some new stuff before it comes in, then paying extra money to gain access to this stuff is pretty much a big fat fib. It's a baffling decision. I don't know why it's even listed here. And as I said, I'm going to go with the worst case scenario, that they're actually going to make people pay the upgrade path in the future if you want to check out some of the new stuff that's coming. And if any fucking tryhard white knight fucking simps cry on about Black Desert Online or any other game that might do this, it is a minority. There's only a few tiny little games out there that maybe do previews where they actually charge you, or you have to be part of the exclusive club because you bought the massive edition version of the game. You can't do this shit when on PC it's free. You can't do this shit when the majority of your genre, the survival genre, use test servers for free. It's fucking abhorrent. Now you're wondering, alright Jade, calm down, it's only $15, $10, whatever the fuck. Don't like it, don't buy it, man. Obviously, that's what dickheads who simp for lots of companies say on a regular basis. Beta is pretty hype, it's pretty exciting, people want to get the upper hand, they want to test it out. On the sign up sheet that they had for nearly 2 years, it never mentioned anything about having to buy some expensive version to gain access, you just signed up to take part. So I do feel like it's a bit of misdirection by Double 11 too. They know there's going to be loads of people rampant and excited about the game, and so they will cough up more money just to play the beta. And the beta's not meant to be for that, it's meant to be testing your shit, not to gain just some extra fucking money. I can't stand greed in the gaming industry. It's one of the main reasons I don't cover big AAA games. I used to love COD, I'm pretty good at it, well I used to be, but I got sick and tired of buying the same old shit year in year out and being overcharged for shit like loot boxes. Same goes for FIFA, I used to love FIFA, but the Ultimate Team became the only way to really play the game. And it was ridiculous how much people wanted to spend on the loot boxes in that. I can't stand the big companies in the gaming industry. They rip players off all the time. Most players just sit there going, yes sir, please sir, let me have some more. So yeah, I don't understand these decisions. Public test branch access is a given in nearly 99% of the survival genre. I can't find one single survival game that actually locks it off to only people that have paid. It's pretty standard to have the beta for everyone that pre-orders your game, not just the people that spend the most expensive options. And now we're going to get onto what I mentioned earlier. How is Rust really worth the price it is on console? We'll take a look at a post by the community management team at Rust at Double 11. They speak about how hard it's been to get the game on an Xbox and PlayStation, the challenges faced making a PC game that's pretty expensive and pretty demanding fitting onto console. Definitely is great to educate people on the challenges and why Rust on console is going to be quite different from PC. And this is where we start getting into it a bit more. In order to re-engineer how the entire game works, we started by picking a point in time of Facepunch's code base where we felt it was safest to start building the foundations on which the console versions would be based. Some of the more recent additions to the game piled on the complexity by orders of magnitude, so we instead opted to focus on Rust's core experience and rebuild some of the more advanced features once we have a solid base on which to build. Much like the PC version, the console editions will be updated regularly over time with existing and new content created by Facepunch as well as our own improvements. However, the way we update will be different. This is something that's quite worrying to me. Now, I'm hoping it just means they're going to update every few months instead of every month. That is pretty acceptable. Facepunch only switched to doing it pretty much their whole team working on Rust about 2 years ago. Before then, some of them were working on different projects. And so you need to have a big, pretty crew doing that kind of stuff constantly. So I've got no real issue with maybe console being a bit behind. I've got no real issue with updates in future, maybe being consolidated and we get bigger updates maybe every few months. But when you factor in how much they're charging, when you factor in it doesn't actually say how far behind PC it currently is, I think this is a massive, massive issue. I don't think this warrants the price of the game to be $10 more than it currently is, and this feels like we're paying for an early access title rather than a fully fleshed product. I'm also worried, and it doesn't say it here, and this might be being a bit overly negative, but I'm also concerned that updates in the future they may not do as free, but instead they'll do it as paid DLC. We've heard this kind of talk before about updating the game from Fallout 76. They were hyping it up beforehand, but they also said there was going to be some problems and issues, and yeah, look how that turned out. Only 2.5 years later, is it anywhere near starting to be vaguely an okay game? I think that would absolutely put the nail in the coffin for this game if they do go down that route, but I'm putting in that warning now. I never believed they would charge stupid money to gain access to a PC testing branch. Never believed that they would stop players from being able to try the beta out unless they bought the exclusive editions, and I never believed that they would do something so stupid as having 3-day pay to win early access. But they did, so you never know. Console editions will follow their own update roadmap from launch that we believe will provide an optimal player experience while gradually introducing players to the vast amount of gameplay and content that makes Rust an incredible experience. So there we go. We're paying $10 more. You've got to pony up $15 more and $25 more for extra versions of the game just to see what on PC is treated as free. And not only PC, but other survival games do it for free too. But wait, there's more! You should know by survival fans that you can rent your own servers on PC and you can do it on Xbox and PlayStation too. Most of these games like DayZ, Ark, Conan give you that option. There's different third-party suppliers of these and they charge a reasonable amount. I'm a partner in a Trado. I don't think it's that expensive when you're grouping together with your friends if you really want to play on a private server. It gives you loads of options, loads of choices, you can switch your games. There's G-Portals, there's all sorts of other companies that do this. There is a cut that has to be taken into account for Xbox, and Xbox servers sometimes are a little bit more expensive because Microsoft proper take their 30% even off server rentals. I don't know about PlayStation, but I do know on Xbox you have to do it through them. Double 11, going through it and doing it on their own back, I don't think necessarily is a bad thing, but it does make me concerned about how much the cost of these is going to be. Delivering their own custom servers where you'll be able to change if it's private, have full admin control, make it easy to use, have map seeds and monuments, player slots, change the map sizes, the presets, the rules. It's all great stuff. I can't say it isn't. Having it all in game as well, where you can do this without having to use an app or third-party website, that's pretty good stuff too. But now comes the part that worries the fears. If they've done all the other shitty things they've already done, what's to say they're not going to make these servers even more expensive than they already are on third-party sites? And that's what I reckon they'll end up doing. Another way to gauge and gauge fans and take away choice, which we do have with other survival games on console. It's like £3.32 for a small server, 13-14 quid for a medium. and 40 quid for a big one. So I'm really hoping it's not going to be stupidly more expensive to host your own servers. So there we go, long awaited. Apologies I didn't get this out sooner. I've recorded this video twice before and both times I went off on a massive rant and a rage. So hopefully I've managed to keep it a little bit more constructive. What Double 11 need to do right now is offer beta access to everyone that pre-orders the game. Even if it's only for a weekend, it's a pretty much given that everyone should have access to the beta. That's the whole point of pre-ordering. The 3-day early access, they should make it that the servers wipe. This may be a thing already, but since no one's got back to me, again, I can only assume these servers will carry on running. But if they have the 3-day early access, it's just a quick 3-day server only, just to give people a little bit of experience if they've never played it before or didn't try it out during the beta, then that would maybe be acceptable. It should clarify exactly what's going on with the test branch. Are we going to be able to pay for an upgrade in the future? Is it going to be free? Why have they included it as part of this deluxe version? And they need to clarify soon exactly what's going to go on skins. Are we going to be able to buy created ones by community members? Are they going to be as cheap as they can be on the PC version? Or are they going to try and do a Fortnite and charge $20 for some stupid skins? Also interested in how the Rust coins work. This is pretty much a normal occurrence now. Rainbow Six Siege has fucking coins. Fortnite, you name it, V-Bucks. This is actually a way for them to try and offer a bit more value. Xbox and PlayStation, again, take 30% cut off of every item. Even a dollar skin, they want some of that money. So a way to add perceived value is to offer bigger coin packs that you can then go and spend on skins. But it's still up in the air whether or not this is actually better value, as a lot of the time you have to round stuff up. You can't buy individual Rust coins. It always has to be in packs, and so there is the argument that sometimes you're left over with Rust coins that you didn't actually want, and so that means you spent more money on something that you didn't actually really want to. It fucking hurts me that I've got to be such a miserable bastard talking about this kind of stuff with Rust before it launches. I'm not here just to get some hate bait views. This video will be lucky if it gets 5k views. I'm always going to get a couple dickheads that go, oh, your channel's dying. Oh, you're just making a big deal out of it just to get views. My channel is doing the best it's ever done. I've had the most consistent time in the last 6 to 9 months. In fact, for the last year and a bit, I've just made massive gains. I don't need to cover Rust. This May is absolutely filled to the brim with other stuff like Ark DLC, Biomutant, Subnautica Below Zero. I've also got my stuff going on with Valheim. Conan Exiles DLC is coming out soon as well. I don't need to invest time into a company or a game that I feel is ripping players off. If I don't see many changes to this, or if I don't see some better explanations about why they've taken some of these decisions, I really might not actually bother covering it. And despite what some people think, that would be a loss. I hype games up, I give you guys news, tutorials and guides. Only about 3-5% of my content over the years has actually been me moaning and bitching about games. And mainly games that I probably should have quit a long time ago since I was so unhappy with them, like Ark. But I don't want that to happen with Rust. I've been looking forward to this game so much. I can't play on PC with a keyboard and mouse. I'm absolutely terrible. I want to sit there with my pals on a console and just chill and play this game. But I'm not going to do that if I feel like the company is trying to wrangle every penny out of people. It's just a bit shit. One thing I did notice on the end of this little trailer that announced the console edition release date was that they had put Deep Silver as one of their partners. Now this was news to me. Facepunch are the original makers of Rust. Double 11 are the port team that are now publishing and making the game. And it does look like Deep Silver are going to be offering physical copy editions of the game in future. Is that the reason that they're making the game a little bit more expensive? So they want to keep it the same price as digital or as physical? Then I can maybe go along with that. But the rest of the stuff, it just doesn't really make sense. Let me know what you think about all that stuff. Is it fair what they're doing? And go ahead and white knight and simp for a company that is doing stuff that no other game company has done in recent years. I dare you. Laters, ratbags.